Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight, I want to do a video about the football game that happened earlier today. It was the Seattle Dragons against the DC Defenders, the XFL. Um, I was on Facebook earlier, and I was upset with Vince McMahon because everything he touches, he seems to destroy it. A lot of people like the WWE, and I'm not discounting that. But in the early 2000s, Vince McMahon tried to do another version of the XFL. And he used professional wrestlers as football players, or he used some lesser well known wrestlers as football players. This time, he seems to have picked football players that were in the NFL but were not good for the team and were cut, or they're college kids that are good but would never get picked by the NFL. So, having said that, the guy and I got into it, and he tried to tell me that it was somebody else that owned the XFL, and I said, no, Vince McMahon is the owner of the XFL. So I came across this. It says XFL 2020. The XFL is a professional American football league owned by Vince McMahon's Alpha Entertainment and is headquartered in Stamford, Connecticut. It is the successor to the original XFL, which was controlled by the World Wrestling Federation, WWE, WWF, now WWE, and NBC, and ran for a single season in 2001. Now, I was expecting the worst because I remember the 2001 XFL. I figured, okay, Seattle picked a screwy name, Seattle Dragons. Okay, I don't understand what that has to do with Seattle, but that's what they chose. Washington Defenders, I can see Defenders because it's Washington, D.C. That's where the United States Capitol is at. That's where the White House is at. That's where the Pentagon is at. They defend America from sometimes made up enemies, sometimes enemies that we have created that aren't even real. I guess that would be made up, huh? And then on top of that, Seattle Dragons. What? Where does the dragon come in from? I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, even though that doesn't make sense to me, it wasn't that bad of a game. Of course, I have to get used to them. I don't really see this working past one season. For one reason is that Vince McMahon is trying to pull in some of his old stuff into the new thing, like having the players talk on the field so you can hear them. You have microphones on the sidelines so you can hear what the coach is saying and blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be fan friendly, I guess. I don't understand. I thought the NFL was fan friendly too, but apparently it's not. So Vince McMahon's got his hand in this. Time will tell if it's any better than it was the last time around. Although the football players do look more like football players than wrestlers, and it does have kind of a football feel to it, I don't know exactly what to think about it, the XFL. So if you have an opinion or you saw the game today, the Seattle Dragons against the DC Defenders, and the DC Defenders beat the crap out of us, by the way. If you happen to have seen that game and you have your 2 cents worth, please put it in the comments below. I would very much like to hear from you to see what you think. In theory, Vince McMahon's idea was supposed to be good, that the person that just loves football to death and can't get enough of it would be able to have football during the football season and football outside of the football season. The XFL was supposed to take up the slack. I don't really see that happening, but it could be just the way I see it. And having said that, back in the early days, nobody thought the NFL would take off either because we had college. And it was college this, college that, Notre Dame, blah, 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 Oklahoma, and all that stuff. And nobody thought that the NFL would ever take and become as massive as it is now. So anyway, put your comments below, downstairs, right here. If you have any ideas for the XFL, what you thought about it. Did you not care at all? Was it just another football game? Did it feel like another football game, or did it feel more special? I personally thought the field was much smaller than the NFL, but that's just me. If you felt that way too, put it in the comments. If you have an idea for another video that you think would work, put it in the comments as well. I'd love to hear about it, your idea, and I'd love to be able to try to do a video based on it. So, on that note, I'm going to let you go. Remember, make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best you can today. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, Seattle, America, and all points beyond.